What kind of numbers are you guys looking at for this class, Kirk, the 12 class?
Oh, probably high teens would be my guess. Yeah, probably high teens.
How do you feel things have gone to this point?
I think, well, it's almost surreal recruiting right now, this time of year, in my mind. Because really all you know is what they share with you. And we really don't, it's hard to communicate with players other than Facebook. Moving forward, in the old days you used to hire coaches based on, communication skills, what they know about coaching football, all that type of thing. Now the number one requisite is Facebook. If a guy can't Facebook, he can't coach. Sad commentary on our great invention, I know. Great social media.
You got your page filled out?
No, not yet. Working on it. And so anyway, yeah, the information that comes our way is what is chosen to come our way. So it's really hard to know where you're at most of the time. But we feel good about where we think we're at. We're not sure where we're at, but we where we think we're at. And I think things are proceeding okay. Based on the last 3 years, that's all you can compare it to in my mind. Recruiting is so much different than it was 5 years ago, certainly 10 years ago. So we just kind of try to, how's it look compared to the last couple of years? And I think we're comfortable, and I think there are enough good players that we think are good that have an interest in us right now, as far as we can tell. They're coming to campus and doing those types of things. So, then after that, just kind of, and the other thing I just got to remind our staff, there's going to be a lot of good players out there in December too. So it's not, basically, unless we really feel good about something, if we're kind of iffy, then let's just tread water. And I don't know how many players from the MAC were in that Super Bowl.
Yeah.
For the Steelers and Green Bay. There's an article in USA Today about there were a lot of good players in the MAC. Just talked about Woodhead. Walker got the last scholarship at Texas Tech. That was in a Sports Illustrated article this past year. Aaron Rodgers, wasn't recruited. He went to Butte. Is it pronounced Butte? Butte Community College? Because his neighbor had some connection, 1310 SAT or something like that. And then goes to Cal the next year, so you just got to be patient. We don't get all the guys that are, they don't line up at our door. So we just got to take our time, make sure we're doing the right thing, at least what we think is the right thing.
Have you had to answer or some of the questions what happened off the field in the off season? I know I've talked
more so during the months of probably through March, April. I haven't had one question until the last circuit yesterday in the little merry-go-round thing that they do in there. 98% of the questions, I swear to God, in every station were about Nebraska. So everybody else must have got pumped out of the room. I don't know if those were all Nebraska guys, but it was yesterday was just the Nebraska day, which was great. Okay, well, it was great. And but yeah, the last station somebody brought it up about it's well over and done. So it really hadn't been very fun.
Yeah, I know. I talked to a few recruits they've said, their parents came and talked to you, and after that it was fine. Did you kind of just lay it out there and
just we tried to be proactive about it, and nobody's hiding anything. There's nothing to be. It's just one of those things. Really, to this day, nobody can explain. Everybody's fine. Nobody's transferred, despite one of the national columnists who chose to write a very dramatic, interesting story. And hey, we've all moved on. It's well behind us.
What are you looking at positionally in this class? Where are your needs the most, you feel?
Yeah, the first thing that just jumps out at me, if you look at it over the last 2 years, last year and this year combined, we have 5 senior defensive linemen right now. We obviously had 3 guys drafted, so that's the first thing. And last year we had about 4 or 5 upper-class receivers, and we got Marvin this year. So those 2 positions really come to mind right off the bat.
You got to take a quarterback?
Yeah. Typically we're going to take one every year. I can't imagine. You might get in a situation where we don't, but we definitely will.
Is that going to? Are you guys still in the evaluation process there
with quarterbacks?
Yeah,
definitely. Yeah, there were a couple guys we really had high interest in that wasn't mutual. So we're gonna. We might do something during the season, but my sense is we'll probably be end of the year type thing before we really decide who we like.
You've had some different type guys. I mean, how flexible are you guys at that position in terms of what skill set you're looking for?
Oh, we just want the best guy, and it's Brad's a great example. Brad Banks, talked to him yesterday, but we really didn't want to recruit Brad, quite frankly. This is back, whatever year that would have been. But, my goal there was to get a good high school quarterback, and all the guys we liked didn't like us. So Brad was the best guy on our board. So that's how we ended up recruiting Brad. But it wasn't, I'd like to tell you it was our master plan. It wasn't. So one of the best players we've ever had almost wasn't going to come. And, it was a pretty easy courtship because, he had us, we had him, and that was it. I mean, we were the only school that liked him, and he's the only one that liked us. So it was, that's what happened. But our master plan is to get a high school quarterback and, try to bring him along behind Kyle. It worked out okay. So we'll take, whatever's out there, we'll wait and see. And we're curious to see what happens. Part of the equation, too, is see what the guys on campus do through August and September, see how they come along, and we'll know better about what we have at all positions. Certainly by October 1st, I think.
You still expect a red shirt for Jake, for Rudock?
In a perfect world, yeah, I'd like to do that. But we want to win too, so we'll do whatever and see what he does. Jake's a little bit like James, a little time in the weight room and at the training table won't hurt him.
Is it difficult to come back?
Chuck Long was skinny too, just for the record. I remember that was my first year at Iowa. It was his first year. I don't know if when he came out in sweats, he looked like a kid in pajamas, NFL pajamas, He was a little skinny guy. He's a big man. He was a big man by the time he finished. I'm sorry.
No, sorry. Is it difficult to follow up at the quarterback position specifically? Mm-hmm. You got Rudock. He had some national acclaim. Was on a national championship team. Other quarterback recruits see, hey, there's a star player at Iowa. Why would I want to go in after him? Is that kind of a challenge?
I think that's probably factored into it with a couple guys that we were interested in. Yeah, and I didn't ask him, but I'm sure.
Right.
To me, quarterbacks, it's like a little bit like recruiting a basketball player, a point guard or a center. They look at the roster and there's only one point guard on a basketball team. So and I think that's typically. And then there are some guys that don't care. They just don't care what's going on. Because they think they're going to come in and be able to play.
In your experience, without naming names, those guys, have they seemingly risen at the top? The guys that don't care?
It's usually a good trade when any player thinks that,
Right.
It's and I was impressed with McCall, the running back that, with Yale. We kind of started our courtship. He got warm with us in December, I guess it was, and then Marcus had a pretty healthy bowl game and didn't bother Mikael at all. He didn't. And that's impressive when you see that. That's I think what guys thinking.
Doesn't seem to affect you at tight end either. You bring in 3 or 4 of those every year.
Yeah, I think we may feel a little bit this year. That's just my sense.
Yeah.
We'll see. There's a guy we're interested in right now, and I think we're probably losing ground, or maybe we already lost ground. I don't know. And I think that's factored into it. So, but you can't. What are you going to do about it?